Hi, I'm Kevin from Debt Free Happens, and this is my review of the Etsy Printables course by Gold City Ventures. Now, Gold City Ventures is comprised of two people, the first person being Julie from Millennial Boss and host of the Fire Drill podcast, and the second person is Cody from the blog Fly to Fi and co-host of the Fi Show. And Gold City Ventures is launching three new side hustle focused courses this week. They're each for sale individually. The first course is the Etsy Printables course, which is what we'll be focusing on today. But the other two courses, just so you know, there's a blogging for profit course and a course on freelancing. And so there's a link to each one of those below. I will mention that for any three of those, but certainly for the Etsy Printables, if you click that link and you end up purchasing one of those courses, I will personally offer you a free 30-minute Skype coaching session where we can talk about the progress of your shop, as you get in there. And in a moment, I'll show you my own personal Etsy shop and what I've learned using the information in the course, and that will hopefully factor into your decision as well. So each course actually sells for the same amount. They're all for $197, and that's individual. So if you buy the Etsy Printables, for instance, you don't get the blogging or the freelancing one. You'd have to buy those separate. But in general, I'm sure the creators would agree that it's best to go ahead and just focus on one at a time. The other thing is that the course is not going to be always for sale. The registration for the course will be ending June 30th at midnight. So if you're interested in the course, you're gonna have to buy it then. It's for sale for $197. And then after that, it will be available in the future in limited times, but it will probably go up from what I understand, but I'm not exactly sure of that. So once again, links to the course below, and definitely consider that the option for the free coaching session. So on to the course itself. So a little over a year ago, I joined a mastermind that Julie, the creator of this course, hosted. And as a result, I developed a shop on Etsy. It's called Modern Printable Shop. And it took me about 3 months from beginning to end to really kind of get it to where you see it now. Something that I did as a true side hustle on nights and weekends, and just kind of improve the quality of the items as we go. I've sold over 1,400 items themselves, and that's resulted in over $7,000 of total revenue. The profit is probably about $5,500. I need to update my accounting, but it's probably about $5,500 once you account for fees and any marketing costs. And so the knowledge of what I learned from Julie and that mastermind, was, I would really say it was kind of the difference maker for me. And so when I saw that she was coming out with a course, I knew that was something that I wanted to kind of check out and see how it was. So the course itself is broken up into a series of modules. It's heavily based off of videos, and there's two types of videos that you'll see. The first video is one where Julie is specifically talking to the camera, giving you information about that specific topic. And you'll see that there's also additional notes below as a good way to summarize it. The second type of video that you would see is one that's more of a tutorial. And so you'll see that, it's not just her, she's in the corner, but you get to be able to see her screen, and she can kind of walk you through whatever that topic is step by step to be able to see. I find these videos personally very helpful when I'm trying to learn something new. In general, a lot of the content is focused on the logistics of Etsy, but then also making the products, finding free resources, as well as resources that you might pay for, just depending on where you're at. There's kind of a few different additional things beyond the videos. The first is a series of lesson plans for you to follow as you go through, just to kind of keep you on track specifically. That's something that I haven't seen other courses provide. And so I found this to be very helpful when I was looking through it. And it was similar to when I was going through the mastermind. We kind of had a similar set of assignments that I found really helpful in developing my shop and keeping me moving. And then there's also, so that was the lessons plans, but then there's also assignments that they have related to kind of additional integration into the community. And so that community is that they have a Facebook group. I'll talk about that in a moment, but I want to walk through the material a little bit more. So there's kind of introduction type focus, creating a product. There's a lot of information here, improving your products. That was a big part of kind of developing my shop as I found it. And marketing and advertising. One thing that I'll just quickly share is that if I just developed my shop on my own and I hadn't listened to Julie, I probably wouldn't have gotten into any marketing at all, because I would have thought, well, why would I spend any money on it? And it took a little bit for us to kind of figure things out. But over the course of my shop, I've spent $416 on marketing my items on ads, essentially. But I've sold in return over $1,800 worth of products. And so I'd say that was a pretty good ROI. But that specific kind of prodding by Julie was really a key part of my success, to be honest. And so that's why I was really happy to see that in here, in the marketing and advertising information on the Etsy Sellers app, which is important. And I think one of the things that really separates this course from others that I've seen is that she's got a number of bonus section material that's provided by other Etsy shop owners and kind of industry leaders. And so there's a few printable worksheets that you can pull out and follow. And then there's also looks like over at least a couple hours of videos from different shop owners that are sharing kind of something either behind the scenes or kind of maybe some insider information in a sense, something specific. So here's one on keyword research, which is an important part of having a successful shop, an Adobe InDesign tutorial, a couple of us. So I have a video in here where I go behind the scenes and I show, you're not going to see this anywhere else, where I basically show you this information, but a lot more in depth. And then Rachel is actually another person who was in the mastermind, and she also developed a shop where she makes a few $100s a month. So we have this. Let's go ahead and talk about the Facebook group for a little bit. So it's one thing to take a course and to kind of go through step by step, but at the end of the day, it's a side hustle and you're designing products. And there's going to be, the assumption with this course is that you don't have a shop, although you can have a shop that you've started, but maybe it's not going well. But the idea is that you're at the beginner and that you're not a graphic designer, and that you're going to have questions. And so the Facebook group is put into place. It's a private Facebook group only for the students of the course. And for the first 30 days, it is free. So if you purchase this course, get in there the first 30 days, ask questions. There's going to be an Etsy expert in there, which just in this case, it just so happens to be me. I'll be answering questions in there for any of you. You've seen my shop previously. I've been a student of Julie's, so I'll be able to communicate and know this material very well. But then you'll also be able to interact with the other course members. And I found that particularly helpful when I was taking the mastermind, because there's a little bit of competitiveness. It's friendly competition, but you're learning from each other and you're supporting each other. And that sometimes is the difference maker in the course. So it's not just about, here are the steps. It's about how we can support you through those steps. After those free 30 days, though, it is $29 a month. But if you look at my shop stats, even those first 2 or 3 months, like while I was developing my shop, you see my revenue was $145 there, $160, $131. So that itself pretty much pays for the $29. That's no guarantee that you're going to have the same results. But, overall, when you look at my profit, over $7,000 in profit, then I should say over $5,500 in profit, $7,000 in revenue, the Facebook group definitely can make a difference. So it's up to you kind of month to month as to what you would, as if you would want to stay in the group each month, but it's definitely something you should consider and utilize as a resource to keep you engaged. So once again, overall, I recommend the course. If you're interested in starting an Etsy shop, go for it. If you already have an Etsy shop and you're in the top 1 or 2%, it may not be for you, but if you're more at the beginning stages of your shop, I would also recommend the shop or this course for you. As you see, there's this bonus information is really interesting and something that could potentially take your shop to another level. The rest of these videos can help fill in the blanks, maybe on other aspects of your shop where you can improve. So I certainly hope that this is something that you consider, or at the very least, one of the other two side hustles courses that they have. Personally, this extra income has been great for me, and I can't tell you how rewarding it is to wake up and see that you made money while you were sleeping. That personally is really exciting. Or when I'm in a meeting at work, or I'm on vacation and I see that I made some money on the shop. You know, I've always averaged about $15 to $17 worth of sales each day. So sometimes more, sometimes less, but that's kind of the average. And yeah, so I really recommend the course, and check out the links below. And don't forget about my offer for a free 30-minute Skype coaching session. So have a good one.